Having absolutely nothing else to fall back on, I relied on the one quality that, in retrospect, I believe set me apart from the many, many talented writers I knew who fell by the wayside: persistence. Though I would be well into my career before I realized it, I came by this quality naturally because I had grown up with a writer in disguise. My father was an Air Force officer. When he was a captain, we lived in Japan, a tiny house with paper sliding doors and 2 bedrooms. My father made a space in a closet large enough for a small table, a chair, a gooseneck lamp, an ashtray for the cigars he smoked, his underwood typewriter, and a ream of onion skin paper. He would get up at 4 in the morning, the only time his crowded house was not a riot of kid noise, and he would write. Those tissue-thin sheets that my father filled with words in a smoke-filled closet while the rest of the world slept disappeared long ago. What is left is a medallion on a stand that depicts George Washington crossing the Delaware, the prize for winning an essay contest. More than half a century later, I would give most of what I possess to be able to hold in my hands those almost transparent sheets of onion skin paper that my father filled with hunted and pecked keystrokes. And though it took me far too long to understand that he was a writer in the purest sense of the word, he was always my model of persistence. Since I was far too shy to follow the writer's usual path and support myself by teaching, I paid my rent by writing. I wrote for newspapers, magazines, I wrote pesticide brochures for the EPA, and romance novels for Harlequin. The writing landscape has changed so fundamentally since the days of pulp fiction that, when asked to speak to writers, I worry that I have nothing of use to pass on. Still, I believe that the basic temperament which inclines a person toward the writing life, intense curiosity about people, combined with a physiological need to be alone for a sweet 8 to 10 hours a day to create worlds on paper, remains intact. In the end, I always tell students, whether they are in a middle school classroom or an assisted living facility, that I hope that they find the same joy, the same rapturous engagement in writing that I have. That, of course, there will be heartache and frustration, rejection and disappointment, but fun? Oh, I tell them, yes, I had such fun, such immense, unimaginable fun.